today we're kicking off the Christmas season with a trip to Bethlehem. We decided to take a tour that includes Bethlehem and the Dead Sea so that we could do all that in one day. So I'm pretty excited to see the town of Jesus' birth and check it out, and then float in the Dead Sea. So we decided to book a tour to go to Bethlehem and the Dead Sea because both of them are in the West Bank, and we weren't really sure about taking public transit there. We took a tour yesterday, and our guide told us we would have been totally fine to just take the public bus over to Bethlehem. But this way we get to see both Bethlehem and the Dead Sea in one day, which apparently by public transit would have just been crazy. So I think I'm still pretty glad we did this. I think we also get a guide during our time with Bethlehem, so that should be really cool. We read that we might have to change buses or do a passport check when we entered into the West Bank, but I think we just went through the checkpoint and we didn't have to get off the bus, so maybe it just depends. We made it to Bethlehem, and our first stop is the Shepherd's Fields, where the angels announced to the shepherds that Jesus had been born in Bethlehem, which is right over there.
We're about to go into a cave that is in the shepherd's field, so obviously they don't know which shepherds, but it is archaeologically around, I think, the same time period. So this is where they lived because it was cool in the summer and pretty warm in the winter.
So we're on our way to see the Church of the Nativity.
No, I don't believe him. We're not.
Now 120 centimeters high. It's called the humility door, as everyone should go to enter the church in reference to Jesus.
Ready?
Okay, we're waiting in line to go see where Jesus was born. They said they feel pretty confident in the authenticity of the site, mostly from word of mouth from many generations.
Yeah, so Christians have been praying here since the 1st century. And then in, I guess, the 2nd century, Emperor Hadrian built a pagan temple on the site to keep the Christians from praying here. So this is one of the sites that they are most confident in the actual location.
The line is really long. I think we got here pretty early, so they said maybe about an hour. But I think they said the people behind us, it might be like 3 to 4 hours. So very long.
Definitely worth it, though. I was thankful our tour guide used the time to give us a lot of information about the church, as well as kind of reminding us about the Christmas story. So even though it's been crowded, I think it's been a good and edifying time. I'm excited to see it. And with all these other people who are also excited to see it. I think it's easy to be like, oh, I wish I had this place to myself. But I think it's also encouraging that there's so many people who want to see where Jesus was born. This church dates from the 4th century when Saint Helena, who was Constantine's mother, built the first church on the site. based on where the oral tradition said that Jesus was born, as well as the pagan temple that Hadrian had built. It has, throughout the years, been fought over. It was destroyed during a Persian conquest of the region, burned again during a Samaritan uprising. I don't quite remember the order of those two. And then throughout the times, as this area has gone from empire to empire or ruler to ruler, the church has not fared well necessarily. It is now, I guess, being renovated as we speak. One of the interesting stories they were telling us about was that the walls during the Crusader period were covered in these beautiful mosaics. And then they were actually taken down by the Ottomans, who would shoot at them to get the gold off the mosaics. So the church actually plastered over the mosaics, and just in the last 7 years, they rediscovered them. And so they're kind of in the process of uncovering them.
We're now in the cave.
We stopped at a lookout overlooking the city of Bethlehem and the West Bank. The olive groves, so the olive trees kind of in the middle, that's what Bethlehem looked like in antiquity. It's now built up since then.
Time for a tea break.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I wish.